Yes guys, welcome back to some more F1 2021 content, and no, this is not my team. We are here for the first League Racing video of the year, so if you guys are excited about this and want to see more League Racing content, then hit the red subscribe button, and if you're going to enjoy this video, then leave a like on it because it massively helps me out in terms of the YouTube algorithm. But today, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, we are here for a social race with the new WOR PC split. So 4 days before this, I actually took part in a PSGL social race, and I was meant to upload it, but the race was so bad I can't upload it. It was a disaster. Having said that, I managed to get a few clips out of that for my second channel, which is a clips channel. So if you haven't seen it, I'll leave the channel link down below, guys, so go check it out. But today we're here for WOR, and this race was actually good enough to get a video out of it, so I'm very excited to bring this to you guys. And we take a bit of a break from the My Team content. My Team, though, we'll be going live later on today, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, here we are then in qualifying, and this was my best lap. Now for this particular event, we're using presets on the setup so that no one can get a super unfair advantage, and it's going to be pretty close. So here we go then, on the pit straight, down towards turn number 1. You want to try and spot the 100-meter board, down to third gear, possibly second, depends on your confidence with the car and the setup. Quickly back on the throttle, through turn 2, not quite flat, and then flat out through 3, DRS open as we run up to 4, bring the car to the left, and then at about 75 meters, down to third gear, short shift on exit, use the runoff curb, and we make our way into the S section. 5, 6, 7 and 8, this kind of long sequence of corners, important here to get the flow right and get the car in the right window. We actually run a little bit wide at the hairpin, miss the apex, and then we get a bit of oversteer on the exit, which doesn't help. Down towards turn 9, which feeds into turn 10, the hairpin, very tricky corner. I actually managed to find a little bit of time on the exit as we get a nice clean bit of traction. And now we end the lap with some fast corners. Turn 11, a long swooping uphill left, just about getting that corner hooked up. Flat out through turn 12, having a bit of a correction on the steering. Turn 13, try and pick up a late apex, quickly back on the throttle, use all the runoff curb, and now the final corner, which is where I knew I made a mistake on my last lap, so I know there's time to gain here. You want to brake at about 80 meters, third gear, quickly back up to fourth, use the runoff curb, and then everything you've got up to the line, and it's going to be a 125.1, and we go P15, so not great. The lap in itself felt very good, I was very happy with it, but it didn't actually translate to overall lap time. Having said that, it's a very close grid. The entire 18 drivers are covered by 6.5 tenths of a second. I believe Tino Nakarinen is on pole position. We've got a few fast guys in here as well. You can notice this, for example, if you know about League Racing content, and you'll recognize a few of these names like Smasher, oh my god, it's Joe, Antoine Desaluski. There's some pretty fast guys. Dormeyer as well, Lefted, HX4K as well, Flores Vires, of course, F1 Esports. So there are some fast names here, and we're going to start from P15. Qualifying, though, I will admit, it's not my strong suit. So with that said, let's move to the race and let's see if we can make things happen on the alternate strategy. Okay, here we are then at the end of the formation lap, and you can see we're going to start on the hard tyre. That's what everyone else is going to do. And generally speaking, from my experience on last year's game, the hard to medium is the much stronger strategy. I'd normally go medium hards, and the reason I do that is because if you get wing damage or crash on the hard tyre, you're forced to a 2-stop because you don't have another set of hard tyres to use. So it is very risky using this tyre, but if you trust yourself to keep it clean and crucially have good pace, then this strategy is very, very strong around Bahrain. So let's see what happens. Hopefully you guys enjoy the race. If you do, leave a like, and let's jump into my first inverted commas league race of F1 2021. So here are the 5 lights. Let's see if we can get a clean start, and it looks like it's an absolute belter. Myself and my teammate Jay Verhaeg absolutely fly off the line, but I've got to say that is one of my best starts in a long time, and by far my best start in this game. I mean, the traction we got on the hard tyres there was fantastic, and into turn 1 and turn 2 we've managed to hold on to that, and we've moved up to P14. Mr. Anchor getting a great start as well in the Ferrari, as he was behind us actually. But now into turn 4, we're going to try and go the long way round here on the Ferrari. We don't quite make it stick though, as we just lack a bit of grip on the tyres, as we now plunge downhill through 5, 6, 7 and 8 and into the hairpin action. I'm going to try and go for a little lunge up the inside of the Ferrari, as we're going to try and get that place back on Mr. Anchor and move up into P13. Yes, we do, as we just drain a bit of ERS there on traction. Into the hairpin we go, and we've got a spinner, Thomas Harvey in the Alpine, going backwards there. And we're going to gain another place from that. And we're now P12, so like, oh happy days, God. 3 places gained, and we are flying already out the blocks. And we've got Jay Verhaeghe ahead of us on medium, so he's going to be a bit faster right now. I'm going to try and see if I can stick with him. And also ahead of him, we've got CRG Smasher.
If you notice the third tier more this game, I keep saying it in my videos, but it's more noticeable, man. Like, you have to get out of it.
And as you can hear me say, third tier is more noticeable this year, and I definitely, you know, I want to make that very clear. You definitely can notice in league racing, third tier does cause a few problems. You know, there's a few corners where it does catch you out. The understeer is quite bad, and it's not very enjoyable at times. But nonetheless, we cut onto lap 3 now, so DRS is enabled. We get a yellow flag behind us. Someone had an incident. I think it was Andreas Dormeyer, who has now retired. So we're down to 17 runners out of 18 here today. And also one of the cars is pitting, and that's HX4K, so I believe possible damage for him in the Alpine. So we're now up to 11th place in this race, and another place gained. And so far, so good. But that right there, turn 1, I made a bit of a mistake, and it just dropped me out of DRS range. And as I just said there, the overspeed was catching me out with the DRS, and unfortunately, I dropped out of range, and because of that mistake, I just wasn't able to get back in, as we've got actually Ruben Pedreño backwards in the McLaren. So we're going to move into the top 10 and into the points. And that is great news, because Pedreño is on soft, so that's going to really help us out in terms of the strategy of this race. But as I was saying, that one mistake, it just cost us, and I just wasn't quite able to stay within DRS range of Jay Verhaeghe. We've got another car in the pit lane, and we're now up to P9. And we're just trying to see if I can keep pace. I was using quite a bit of energy to try and keep up. Again, they're running a bit deep into turn 1 and losing some time, and I just was really working hard to keep up, but I just wasn't able to do it. I just lacked a bit of pace.
I don't know, Charlie, mate, unfortunately.
And yeah, I don't know. I was really struggling with the car a little bit. I didn't quite have the rhythm, and even, you know, these guys ahead of me, they were battling with Pritesh up ahead, who was struggling on his soft tyres, but I just wasn't able to match up. Smasher had some really strong pace on the hard tyre, and Jay Verhaeghe was actually just following him. End of lap 7 though, I could have passed Pritesh a couple of corners ago, but I knew he was probably going to pit. I could see he was really struggling on his tyres, so we're going to let him go. We'll get DRS for free, and we lose no time battling Sam Bean as well in the pit lane for Alpine. He was very fast in this event, and I've never raced him before. I don't know who he is, but he was top 2, so very impressed with him. But yeah, lap 8, and pretty much we kind of hit that mid-race phase where nothing really happens.
No one in front, no one behind.
And as you said, no one in front, no one behind. I'm kind of just on my own, really, as a bunch of the soft runners go into the pit lane for their one stop onto the hards. So we're now P4 in this race. Smasher and Jay running a pretty good pace.
Should I go up or down?
And I was just asking my chat here.
The general, you open it, so like, do you go down?
I was asking my chat in regards to the differential, you know, what should I be doing? And, you know, speaking of chat, I do stream these races on my Twitch, guys, so I'll leave a link down below, as we have Lenny Pepinta in the pits. Now, here's another name you may recognise. Lenny is actually the defending AOR champion. He took my crown in the second season of AOR on F1 2020, and he was also racing as well. We were very similar pace, so very excited about this, as Jay Verhaeghe does eventually pit. Smasher 3.6 up the road, and I just wasn't able to match his pace. He was so fast, and he was getting faster and faster. You'll see now, later on, lap 14, I was trying to push to respond, and I had a bit of a moment here. Oh shit, oh my god, wow. Whew. And that's why I don't like the brake bias on 56. But it's faster though, it's faster. And it was a big moment.
It's so frustrating.
I can't lie, it was pretty scary, because on this game, to go fast, you need to run brake bias towards the rear. But it has its risks, and I almost lost all of my progress. But anyway, lap 16, Smasher pits. I'm going to start for one more lap, and the reason for that is because I want to have super fresh tyres in the second half of the race. We're going to be able to fight back and come back at most of the guys ahead of us on those mediums. And also, there could be possible punctures at the end, so I really want to make sure I've got some great quality tyres at the end. And I was able to stretch my tyres one more, so I may as well go for it. We're going to get an empty pit lane, so no delays, no hold-ups. It's going to be a nice clean stop, a standard 2.5, 2.6 that you usually get in F1 games. And we're going to switch to the medium. So you can see there ahead of us, got a couple of cars on pens, Flores Viers, I believe Desaluski up ahead as well. Pedreño here also has a penalty. So a few cars, you know, with time pens. Thomas Harvey as well. So we're looking pretty decent. So we're going to rejoin, fresh mediums on, and we're going to try and send it straight away and get to work. So let's jump into it. Still ahead of lefted. He went for the undercut, didn't work. So happy with that. I'll lift and coast a little bit on my outlap. And as you can hear me say, fuel was a little bit marginal. I started the race with no fuel in reserve whatsoever, so I had to do a little bit of fuel saving. So I chose to do it on my outlap. Also, Lefted did pit for a 2-lap undercut before, but he wasn't able to get close enough, so we covered that off as well. And yeah, right now we're just going to try and line up Thomas and Ruben for the overtakes. They both have penalties, so hopefully they won't defend too hard. That's the hope, and I think they want to battle amongst themselves anyway. So there's no point in them wasting time battling me because I think we're in a different race. So yeah, DRS open right now, and I'm just trying to keep the fuel saving going. So I'm doing a bit of lift and coast. That is by far the strongest method to saving fuel this year. Short shifting doesn't really do anything anymore. So if you want to save fuel, lift and coast makes a huge difference, and you'll save a lot of fuel. So here we are then, onto the back straight, and we're about to end the lap as we get our first warning for track limits, and we're tucked in behind Thomas Harvey. So we are going to try and go for this move. So through the final corner, we've managed to save a little bit of DRS, and we're going to line them up for the pass here. So DRS is going to go open in 3, 2, 1, go. And you can see Thomas has DRS on Ruben as well. I'm actually going to get just a very nice slipstream. No need for any ERS really. And also, Thomas is actually not even defending, so that's going to help me out massively. Into turn 1, using the fresh grip, we just got up the inside, and we get great traction as well. So we're going to get onto the back of Pedreño here as we open DRS, running up towards turn 4. Again, he lets me go. You can see he's pulling over to the left to let me go up the inside, and we pick them both off relatively quickly. And Lefted now behind us has to get past them. So happy days, good progress, and we can push on. We're currently P10, and we've got Jay 3 seconds up the road, and Flores Vias with a penalty. So we're going to try and hunt both those boys down. And actually, Flores pits on lap 19. So he's 2-stopping by the looks of it. We set a personal best. Smasher with the fastest lap. And look at the gap, by the way, 7.4. It was 3.6 before I made my mistake. So Smasher was on it. He was so fast and consistent. But now lap 20, Nomzi, who did the whole race on hards, is managing to stretch his tyres to the point where he can go for softs on the final stint. So he's going to pit, and we're going to move up into the top 8. And also, we're now starting to close in on our teammate Jay Verhey, who is now on the hard tyre, and we are on the medium. So the tables have turned, and we have got the advantage. So we're going to try and go for a move on our teammate here for P7. So here we go at the final corner, trying to not use too much ERS. I want to save it for the last couple of laps. I'm trying to save things up basically, because the last 2-3 laps will be crucial as we go to the inside of our teammate, up the inside on the brakes, get it done nice and clean, and job done for us. And we're going to get DRS for good measure as well on this next straight. So lovely stuff. We're now going to focus on trying to pull the pin and drop our teammate. I could see Jay was trying to kind of hang on to the back end, but I managed to drop him and drop him out of DRS range. But now yellow flag, and we've actually got a car backwards here. It's Lenny Pepinta, who's had a spin out of turn 4, very much Sebastian Vettel 2019-esque, and we're going to gain another place as we move into the top 6. So good progress. Smasher still 7.1 up the road. We have started to catch him a little bit, but in general he was so fast. Lap 29 now though, last lap of the race. I started to push as hard as I could. We was actually really starting to catch up to the cars ahead, but I just didn't have enough pace in general in this race. I just lacked a little bit. I think I picked the wrong preset, and actually Smasher has crashed.
Smasher as well.
Oh my god. So Smasher on the last lap of the race, to give you some feedback, he done the exact same thing as me pretty much, but he actually ended up DNFing, and he took the lead on the last lap of the race. So he crashed out from P1, which is insane. So yeah, Smasher out. We're going to come home in P5. Cross the line. P5. I tried it, I just didn't have enough pace, but still decent, mate. We just capitalised on other errors, and as you can hear me say, we just, you know, made a nice clean race, capitalised from errors from others, and in the end we finished 7.3 off Tino Nalkarinen, which is not bad at all. So a pretty strong race. I think I picked the wrong preset, as I mentioned. I went a bit too low on the downfalls. I think I would have gone, if I'd gone for a slightly more neutral one, I could have probably been a bit closer and benefited from Antoine Desaluski and possibly Samuel Bean's penalties as well. So yeah, things to learn for sure, but overall a great race, and P15 to P5, very happy with that one, and just, you know, good racecraft, keeping it clean and running a good strategy. So happy days, and inverted commas, the first league race, wink wink, is in the books, and it's a good one. So very happy with the car performance, very happy with the setup in terms of how it felt for me personally, and just happy with my driving. One warning for track limits the whole race as well, very decent, and yeah, we bring home a top 5. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. The first league race is in the books. Leave a like if you enjoyed it and you want to see more of this content. Subscribe as well, guys, so you know when that new content does go out regarding league racing. I'm going to be doing 2 leagues this year, like I mentioned in the intro, so stay tuned for that, and I'll stream them on my Twitch, so link down below. And as always, finally, if you haven't seen the 2 videos on your screen, then go check them out, guys. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see all of you next time.